Suppose I have a carefully curated list of all my favorites. Oh yeah, mark my favorites. Got rid of all the Chris Pine movies. All right. Perfect, just the way I want. They're all gone. All that hard work right down the dang toilet. Bummer. Let's do something about this. Shall we? What can we do about this? We could write an entire backend in Node.js, but we're not going to. What if we could store data right there in the user's browser? Wouldn't that be neat? Yeah, it would go away if they ever used a different machine, but it's something. We could at least store it locally on their browser. Well, wouldn't you know it, there's just such a thing built in. This was also introduced in HTML5. And it's called localStorage. In your dev tools, you can see this stuff under the application tab. You see local storage, session storage, IndexedDB, WebSQL. There's several things that do this sort of thing. Local storage, it's pretty limited on how much space a website is allowed to store there, but it's certainly enough for our purposes. And it's so easy to use. And it is scoped by domain. So there's no security risk of me being able to read the local storage that Amazon.com put there. Only Amazon's going to be able to read that. So it is scoped to the domain. And super handy for applications such as this. And you use it like so. Local storage, it's called. If you want to clear it out, now it's empty. localStorage.clear. You want to put something in there, it's a key value store, kind of like an object. localStorage.setItem. Yeah, my usual examples. What'd you have for breakfast today? Mimi. Another sandwich. Sandwiches. localStorage.getItem. Breakfast. And we get it back out. Right? Yep.
So is this information stored in the browser itself?
Yeah, it's stored in the browser. Yep. So if I refresh the page, do local storage, get item again, breakfast, still there. Right?
The space that the browser is using by your computer.
I mean, a tiny bit. It's a very, it's limited to a very, very small amount of data. Yeah. I mean, as far as where on the file system, it's going to be like somewhere in your like personal folder, buried way down in there somewhere. Cool. So what if I had all my meals? Jeff for breakfast today, Matt Gordon, whose name I'm never going to forget again. Who haven't I pestered? Ada? What'd you have for breakfast? Huh? Kirthano, what'd you have for breakfast? Donut, all right. Kind of donut. Chocolate donut, that sounds delicious. Do we like donut like that, or do we like fancy donut? I'm hearing a mix. Who cares? Good enough. Whatever. V, what was for lunch today? Oak moke. Cool. All right. Local storage. Set item. Meals. And we'll pass in our meals object. Right? Sweet. Local storage. Get item. Meals. Just what we put in there, right? The string object. Gosh, cussing, dang it. Somehow I'm sure this is responsible for this because it just ruins all my day. It's not. It's not that. Deal is, local storage can only store strings. So if you pass it something other than a string, it's going to convert it to a string and save it. And it converts objects into strings in a very silly way. So super bummer, because we were looking forward to just putting our flicks array in there, right? Give up? No. No. Now we can overcome this. Anybody know how? Anybody ever done this before? Let me introduce you to my good friend Jason. JSON. Ha ha ha. Who knows what JSON is? Yeah, what is it? What do you say? Okay, I saw a couple other hands. Who else did I see? I saw a couple other hands. Catherine, you want to tell us about JSON?
It's a format that makes organizing a population or various things.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it's a data format, a plain text data format, a kind of an alternative to XML for those of us who hate XML. And you know what it stands for by any chance? JavaScript object notation. Strictly speaking, it is not exactly the same thing as actual JavaScript object notation, but it is based on it. It looks something like this. Breakfast. Oh. What'd you have for breakfast today? Heckin' lively? Honey Nut Cheerios. Very good. Yeah. Option R on a Mac. I used to know this on Windows too. Let's see, 0, 1, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, right? Alt 0174. I'm almost sure that's right. Someone with a key. My gosh, that is knowledge from like 20 freaking years ago. I can't believe I still remember that. I remember what my hands did, because my keyboard at home is like an entire wall. So I agree. Anyway, breakfast, hung out, cheers. So it looks like this. Looks a lot like JavaScript objects, right? Couple key differences. It has more rules. The keys must be quoted. You can't leave the quotes off. And they must be double quotes. And you can't leave the trailing commas. So you can't put a comma there unless there's something after it. But you can totally have objects and arrays and stuff in here. I could put an array in here. So for my lunch, cranberry walnut sandwich, sandwich. Cranberry walnut salad. Veggie chips. No, this is JSON, right? Veggie chips and what are those things called? Yeah, Nutter Butters. No trailing comma, not allowed to do that. So it will not surprise you based on the physical parameters of my being. It will not surprise you to learn that my lunch requires an array. So that's sort of what JSON looks like. And the good news is that's a string, so I can just convert this whole thing into JSON like so. So I've got meals here. Let's just do this again, so there's not so much clutter on here. There's my meals. So then I could say meal string equals JSON.stringify meals. Turns it into a string, just like that. A JSON string. Then I could say local storage set item, call it meals, put meal string in there, get it back out, get item meals, and I get back the string. Still a string though, not an object yet, right? No problem. How about JSON.parse. So JSON.parse this, and it's back to an object. You dig? JSON.stringify, JSON.parse, local storage set item, local storage get item. So it seems we could do something pretty cool here. We could, every time the array changes, just save it to local storage. When the page first loads up in the constructor, we could get it out of local storage, put it on the page. Oh, man, my hand is just cramping up. Maybe you should do this. That's right. Just take the next few minutes, see if you can do this. See if you can save your array into local storage, get it back out. If you want to start trying to actually get it to show up on the page again, go for it. That's a little more involved, but see if you can at least get it to save the array to local storage and read it back from local storage and do something with it. Cool? Just take the next few minutes to do that. Lab time.